This is the homework helper for Chapter 3, Section 5 in the 7th grade workbook, Solving Equations Containing Decimals. So let's go ahead and start a look at the first three rows there. Now as we look at those first three rows, what's nice about questions 1 through 9 there is that all of those questions already have the variable on the left side. So never are we going to have to use in that set of questions our third rule, which says we can flip the sides. So we can go right into the solving process here. Let's go ahead and take a look at number 1. T plus 0.77 equals 9.3. So variable t on the left and number 9.3 on the right. So we know the thing we've got to move is the 0.77. How do we move something to the opposite side of the equal sign? Remember what we do is we do the opposite. Whenever I want to move something individually, I use opposite side, do the opposite. So since 0.77 has a plus in front of it, I'm going to subtract 0.77 from both sides. And so that's going to be how I'm going to be solving for t. And 9.3 minus 0.77 is how I'm going to get my answer here. 9.3 minus 0.77 is 8.53. Number 2, p minus 1.34 equals negative 11.8. So variable p on the left and negative 11.8 on the right. The one thing we don't like then is that 1.34. Well, that's what I'm going to have to move to the opposite side. So I'm going to move the 1.34 by adding. Why? Because opposite side to the opposite would mean adding here. So I'm adding 1.34 to both sides. Okay, so I've got negative 11.8, make sure you get that right, plus 1.34, and when I do that, I get negative 10.46. So P equals negative 10.46. Okay, number 3, R plus 2.14 equals 7.8. So variable on the left, R, number on the right, 7.8. So the one thing I don't like about this question is 2.14. That's what we're going to move. We'll look at 2.14. It's got addition in front of it, so the opposite is going to be to subtract. So I'm going to subtract 2.14 from both sides. And so I'm going to do that, and that's going to give me variable r, and 7.8 minus 2.14 here, and that's going to give me 5.66. Okay, number 4, 3.65 plus e equals negative 1.4. Now, even though the variable e is at first, the variable doesn't have to be first. The variable just has to be on the left, and it is. So that means e is in the correct spot. Number negative 1.4 is on the right side. That's correct. So the thing that's wrong here is 3.65. So I'm going to subtract 3.65 here to solve. Remember, that's what's going to make this go to 0. But it doesn't have anything to do with the fact that there's addition in the middle. That's on the E. 3.65 is a positive. The opposite of a positive is a negative, and negative looks like subtraction. If you're looking for further proof of that, remember what this goes to. It goes to 0. So that's how I get E. And so I'm going to do exactly what it says over there now. Negative 1.4 minus 3.65. When I do that, I get negative 5.05. Okay, number 5. W minus 16.7 equals 8.27. So variable on the left, W, that's a good thing. Number on the right, 8.27, that's a good thing. So the only thing that's wrong here is the 16.7. That's what we're going to have to move. I'm going to move 16.7 by doing the opposite, which is to add. So I'm going to add 16.7 to both sides. And so those are going to cancel out, and I'm going to solve this one by doing 8.27 plus 16.7, and the result there is going to give me 24.97. Okay, number 6. Z minus 17.2 equals 7.13. So again, variable on the left in the form of z, that's a good thing. Number on the right in the form of 7.13, that's a good thing. So the only thing that's not so good here is 17.2. That's a number and it's on the left. but it doesn't belong on the left, it belongs on the right. So we're going to get that 17.2 out of the way. I'm going to add 17.2 to both sides. And so on the left side, those will cancel each other out, just as they've done in all of our other problems in the homework here and in the notes today, and in every other section we've done solving equations with addition and subtraction. 7.13 plus 17.2 is how I'm going to derive my final answer, which is 24.33. Okay, let's go to number 7. P minus 67.5 equals 24.81. So, variable P on the left, that's a good thing. Number 24.81 on the right, that's a good thing. 67.5, not a good thing. Notice it's got subtraction in front of it, but to solve it, I have to do the opposite, which is to add. So I'm going to add 67.5 to both sides. And so I do that, and that leaves me variable P on the left, which is, of course, what I want. Exactly what we've gotten in every other single problem we've done, the variable by itself on the left. And then 24.81 plus 67.5, that's going to give me my solution, which is 92.31. All right, number 8. H plus 26.9 equals 12.74. So again, keep that variable on the left. So H on the left is a good thing. Numbers on the right. 12.74 on the right is a good thing. 26.9 being a number on the left, bad thing. Numbers are supposed to be on the right. So remember, when I want to move it to the opposite side, I do the opposite. So since that has an addition sign in front of it, the opposite is going to be to subtract. So I'm going to subtract 26.9 from both sides. So I've got 12.74 minus 26.9 there. And when I do that, that's going to spit out a solution of negative 14.16. All right, one more adding and subtracting, then we'll switch down to some multiplying and dividing. Number 9, K plus 89.2 equals negative 47.62. So variable K being on the left side, that's a good thing. Number negative 47.62 being on the right side, that's a good thing. 89.2, not such a good thing. All right, so since it's got an addition sign in front of it, to solve it, I'm going to have to do the opposite, which is to subtract. Remember, opposite side to the opposite is always how I move something individually. So I'm going to subtract 89.2 from both sides. And so that's going to leave me my variable K, which is my answer. And negative 47.62 minus 89.2. Again, I'm going to do exactly what it says, exactly how it reads. That's how I come up with this here. And that's negative 136.82. And remember, you can check every single one of these. Plug them back in for the variable. Make sure that the left side is the same thing as the right side. If the left side isn't the same as the right side, it doesn't check, it doesn't balance, it's not the correct solution. All right, we're going to go ahead and jump down now and take a look at 16 to 21. As you can see, the difference here is these are multiplication and division equations. One of the other things that's very noticeable here, looking at 16 and 17 and 18, unlike the top 9 questions that we just worked on, in all of these, the variable is on the wrong side to begin with. The variable is on the right side, but I don't want the variable on the right side. I want the variable on the left side. So we've got lots of fixing to do here before we can jump into these questions here. So let's go ahead and fix 16, 17, 18 right away. 19, 20, and 21, the variable's on the left in all of those, so that's not going to be a problem. So we're going to rewrite 16 as 2.7y equals 18.36. We're going to rewrite 19 as 6.8x equals 99.96. And we're going to rewrite 18 as 17.6c equals 293.92. All right, so now, as you can see in all 6 questions, the variable's on the left side and the number is on the right, which is the way we want to solve an equation, because our first step says variable's on the left. If I don't do the flip, the variable's on the wrong side. So by me doing that, now I don't have to worry about getting the variable on the left because it's already there. All of these questions, however, that we're about to do in 16 to 21 do have a number on the left side, which is wrong because all the numbers should be on the right side. So that's what we're going to have to do to fix this one here now. So let's start with 16. 2.7y equals 18.36. So right now, we're multiplying by 2.7. Well, that's important because we already know that that's the first guy to go because I got to get numbers to the right. The opposite, which is how I'm going to move something to the opposite side, implies I'm going to divide both sides by 2.7. And so 18.36 divided by 2.7, that's going to give me 6.8. All right, 17. 6.8x equals 99.96. So variable x on the left, that's a good thing because variables are supposed to be on the left. 99.96 on the right, that's also a good thing. What's not so good here is the placement of the 6.8. That's a number on the left, but it's supposed to be on the right. Again, x on the left, that's good. 99.96 on the right, that's good. Fix 6.8. Well, right now this says I'm multiplying by 6.8. So to fix that, I'm going to divide by 6.8. And so when I do that, I've got 99.96 divided by 6.8. And that's going to give me 14.7. All right, 18. 17.6c equals 293.92. So variable c being on the left side is a good thing because that's where variables are supposed to be on the left. 293.92 being on the right side, that's also a good thing. So that means the troublemaker is 17.6. That's a number rather. It's on the left, but it's supposed to be on the right. So we're going to move him by doing the opposite. Doing the opposite moves it to the opposite side. Right now this says I'm multiplying by 17.6, so the opposite is going to be to divide by 17.6. And when I divide both sides by 17.6, that's how I'm going to get to my answer. And when I divide by 17.6, that solution is going to give me 16.7. All right, 3 division problems to finish. And again, all of these, unlike those 3 questions we just had, are written the correct way with the variable on the left. So all we have to do is throw the number to the right side and we'll be done. What we need to remember here is how to show this when we have to show multiplying, which is going to be the opposite of dividing in all 3 cases. I want to use those parentheses to show multiplication. So e divided by 7.4 equals 6.9. Variable e on the left side, that's a good thing. Number 6.9 on the right side, that's a good thing. This 7.4, that's the trouble. Right now this says I'm dividing by 7.4. So the opposite is going to be to multiply both sides by 7.4. This divide by 7.4, multiply by 7.4 cancels each other out and leaves me just my variable e. 6.9 times 7.4 is going to give me my solution of 51.06. Number 20, f divided by 12.7 equals 15.6. All right, so looking at this question right now, it says I'm dividing by 12.7. So I'm going to have to do the opposite, which is to multiply by 12.7. I know I'm moving 12.7 because it's the only thing in the wrong spot. Variable f on the left is okay. Numbers 15.6 on the right, that's okay as well. 12.7, not okay. So I'm going to have to fix that. That's how I know I'm multiplying by 12.7 because right now it says I'm dividing by 12.7. So I multiply both sides by 12.7. Again, parentheses to show that is the proper way. And so when I do this, this divide, multiply by 12.7 cancels each other out and leaves me f. 15.6 times 12.7 gives me my solution, which is 198.12. All right, last one, 21. D divided by 9.7 equals 20.8. So we know variable D is in the correct spot, variable on the left. We know number 20.8 is in the correct spot, number on the right. We know 9.7 is our troublemaker here. So we're going to fix 9.7 by multiplying both sides by 9.7. Again, opposite side do the opposite to move something individually. And right now this says I'm dividing by 9.7. So I'm going to fix it by multiplying both sides by 9.7. Divide by 9.7, multiply by 9.7, cancels each other out, leaves me variable D, which is, of course, what I'm solving for, what I want. And 20.8 times 9.7 gives me my solution of 201.76.